Welcome, my bubbly boys and girls. In this series, I made a new account on Yu-Gi-Oh! MasterDuel, and I'm going to be making a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck from scratch and progressively work my way up all the way to Master 1. But here's the twist. I can't spend a single cent on this game whatsoever, at all. So, with our limited resources and the constantly evolving metagame in Yu-Gi-Oh! MasterDuel, will we succeed? You're watching Yu-Gi-Oh! MasterDuel from the ground up. What is my bubbly boys? In our video today, we are in episode 3 of our progression series, and today we have a lot to cover. So first of all, of course, first and foremost, we have we did reach silver 3. So I wasn't able to show any replays of any matches yet because a lot of them were due to disconnects and like mid combo disconnects mostly, and so I wasn't really able to get really any good matches. So I do also have one good match where I could show you actually the combo of this deck, so if any of you guys are interested in playing the deck I'm playing for this series, you guys have played as well and actually know how to play with the deck. It's pretty simple combo once you get the hang of the deck, so I'll show you guys in a bit. But also some great news, we have WCQ for MasterDuel is coming up, so I think we may be able to go into some of that with this deck. So we'll go ahead and try that also as well. And for when that happens, we're also gonna make some deck changes too. And I think the deck we have now is actually gonna be really strong for that event, and maybe we even could get qualified for Worlds. So that's gonna be really exciting. And let's go on to the shop. So I wanted to go ahead and get some accessories because we have 6,000 to spend, and there's not really anything we desperately need right now out of packs other than the new card which did come out. So we do have a new selection pack called Revive Legion, and this is gonna come with SP Little Knight. So we do need at least one SP Little Knight, because we could use SP Little Knight for our Unchained Solar Rage, because Unchained Solar Rage can actually summon SP Little Knight, and that's going to be great for our deck. It would be a great substitution for the unicorn that we have. But overall, no really big deck changes. We have plenty of URs that we could use too from our last video in order to actually make the deck that we need to make. So we have 6,000 to spend, so let's go ahead and spend some. So of course we're playing Unchained, so I think we should get the Unchained partner. Looks absolutely awesome, so we're gonna go ahead and buy that. Literally one of the best looking ones. I'm gonna equip that, and I don't think we're gonna get any fields right now. Pretty expensive, and so with everything else as well. Oh, and I also did get the live twin profile picture, because in solo mode there's this trial deck path that you could go through, and I went through the live twin path, and the live twin path gives you the live twin profile picture at the end when you finish it. So so some deck changes. I also want to go to some deck changes, so let's go ahead and go on to the deck. Alright, so this is the deck I've been running right now. So this is pretty much the exact same from last video, but there are some changes I did want to make especially for the WCQ. For the MasterDuel is going to come up, World Championship qualifiers, and I do want to be able to actually qualify for it. So I think maybe this deck will maybe one of the better options, and so I want to be able to maximize the amount of playability this deck will and actual power level this deck will have. So first change I wanted to do was cut the Soul of Disaster. So this Soul of Disaster actually got in the way of a lot of my games. That's something it was attached to my hand basically. I literally saw a lot of hands with it, or a lot of opening hands with it, and most of the times that I didn't most of the time I didn't need it. Most of the time I was already set up my board and already, and a lot of times I really didn't need it. So I'm honestly gonna cut that, and I think I may cut that to make it a 40 card deck. So we're just gonna consider that for now. Another thing I wanted to cut maybe was Foolish Burial. This hasn't really come up at all. I haven't drew into this at all yet, but the idea of it was like a safe to negate the Lila, you can send a key skill, and if you have some way to extend, you could go ahead and summon another monster to go into key skill. but that didn't really come up a lot, and I don't think that will, because this deck is kind of just a little bit bricky, but it's still like really good. Another idea was like, if we didn't have one of the traps, we could go ahead use Foolish Burial to go ahead and send Shavar. Shavar will go ahead and grab another trap, but that kind of hurt the combo, because that's what we needed Shavar for the main combo. So I think I may cut Foolish for another trap, like another Abominable Unchained, Abominable Unchamber, or add another Cold Buy, because Maxi is a threat to us, and so like other things like Joel and Lockbird, because Joel and Lockbird kind of hurts this deck a little bit. Especially like they hit like the Kisaka draw, because then after that we can't grab anything with Yama. And Prod of Prosperity too, maybe. I mean, the extra deck is pretty tight as it is, so Prod of Prosperity may be a card that I may be considering cutting for the future, and maybe for another Nib or Impermanence. And then I may also cut Nib for a Impermanence, because I think going second, this deck needs to be able to play, and a decent amount of decks are able to play through Nib or play around Nib, because I think the Barone is still legal in MasterDuel. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that is something I am considering, because I think at least Imperm on a established board, I think will be better than Nibiru, because you already have Maxi as it is. Maxi is more impactful than Nibiru, because you're actually getting a lot of draw off of it, and you also have triple attack talent too, of course. But I think cutting in Nibiru and cutting something else off for another Imperm, I think for 2 Imperms, so I think that would be really good, especially for something like Apollosa. And then the last thing that I wanted to do also was considering like cutting a Unicorn. Well, not really considering, I think 100% for sure that we cut a Unicorn for an SP. So SP Little Knight would be definitely a great upgrade for this deck, since it will bring the power level up a lot, and it's just SP Little Knight is just an amazingly broken card, so there would be a reason not to run it if we can actually run it in the deck. So I'm gonna make these changes and think about what changes I want to make, and I'll finalize the deck list soon. Alrighty, so this is deck list I think I'm gonna go with for now. I did cut it to a 40 card deck, and the reason behind that is being that we did cut one of the bricks was the Unchained Soul Disaster, and that's one of the reasons why I run it at 41, because we have between Unchained Soul Disaster and Unchained Soul of Yama, you didn't want to draw any of those, and so I did want to cut it to I did want to bring it to 41 to decrease my chances at drawing any of those bricks. Mind you that I did draw both of them one time, both the Shayama and the Unchained Soul Disaster, so it was a very unfortunate time there. I still won the game, but it was very difficult match indeed to actually do my combos. So yeah, and then after that we did change up the extra deck a bit. I did cut the Unicorn for, of course, the SP Little Knight in all of his beauty. Not 150 bucks, it just cost me 30 UR points for free, and I'm playing this is, remember, this is a free to play account, so at least the SP Little Knight is accessible for some people. So that's great, honestly really great. I'm honestly considering maybe putting another Sarama, because I did find myself for the grind game needing another Sarama, but it kept on getting like in my grave for the combo, so I may consider that. But at the same time as well, I think, no, never mind, I got the Unchained Soul Disaster. Unchained Soul Disaster is the one that summons from the grave. But yeah, so I think maybe another Sarama in the future. I'm not sure. I test this deck out a little bit further. I didn't end up putting in the Imperm because we already have Tactics already, and this deck can already play pretty decent going second. I may put in Imperm in the future, if I do need to, and I also did keep the Prosperity for the sake of consistency. There was just times, like more often than not, I'm gonna use Pot of Prosperity if I happen to draw into it. So for the sake of consistency, I did run it, and even though the extra deck is a bit tight, most of the time I'm finding myself like banishing for 3. I mean, sometimes for 6. Like I usually banish like one Rage, one Key Skill, one Lula, maybe a Yama, I usually banish like the Anguish and then the Underworld Goddess, and that was usually my 6. So that's why I usually so that also helped me out a lot too for consistency. So I did keep in the Pot of Prosperity, and I did put in another Abominable Chamber just to have like access to the traps, because usually a live twin and then a trap is basically full combo. I may put in a secret password in the future. I'm not really too sure yet. I mean, the live twins have been pretty consistent as it is, and even if you don't open up a live twin, your Unchained stuff by itself can do so much. So probably not gonna be putting in a more live twin stuff, but you know, this is the deck we're working with for now, and I think this is the deck list we are going to be taking for the start of the WCQ. So let's go into the match, and let me show you guys the combo that I was talking about earlier. Alrighty, so we are hopping into the match where I can actually showcase the full combo of this deck, the full potential with this deck, with the live twins, of course. So with the live twins, this deck has a very high power, like ceiling level. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause it here real quick. Before I go any further, I want you guys to please consider subscribing. I'm trying to be 500 subscribers. Like, subscribe, and comment down below if you guys would like to see me actually stream, working towards the WCQ event that's going to be happening on June 10th. So at the time of recording is June 6th, so we have 4 days to prepare. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts and see if you guys would be interested in actually watching a stream. So, and I could see if I can actually stream that and see if you guys hang out and try to qualify for World Championship. So that'll be really exciting. So for this combo, all you need is a live twin monster or something to access your live twin engine. So it could be Sunny Snitch, it could be Secret Password, it could be Keysco even. It doesn't really matter. Preferably Leela, because you get another, you get Keysco Frost. Keysco Frost gets you a draw, and then any of the Escape or Unchained, like not Escape or Unchained, any of the Unchained spells or traps. So it could be Abomination's Prison, it could be Escape, it could be preferably Escape because you reset it later on with Sarama, but it doesn't really matter because you end up setting a trap from your deck anyways with Shavara. So any of the Unchained spells or traps, so you have a ton of them in the deck, so this is pretty consistent. This is a pretty consistent combo. So you go ahead, summon out the Keysco from deck, and you're gonna go ahead and summon out Lila. So it doesn't really matter, summon out Lila first, but it doesn't really matter which one you go for first. You could go for Keysco too. It doesn't really matter here. Like, you go for Keysco, then go Trouble Sunny. But yeah, so we're gonna go here. Keysco's gonna summon back to Lila. So first, set the trap. I made the mistake quite a few times where I used the effect of Keysco and forgot to set the trap before I used it. So then Lila will go ahead and pop nothing. So please don't do that. That was a mistake that I made a few times. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and pop this Escape on the Chain, and Escape on the Chain. We'll go ahead and summon Shavara from the deck, because specifically we want Shavara because when we link it off to summon a Yama, we want to go ahead and for it to set a trap from the deck, so that way we could use like something like a Ruha when we grab it off a Yama to go ahead and pop the trap that we just set. So we're gonna go ahead and link here into Trouble Sunny, but it's not gonna stay here for long because we're gonna use Trouble Sunny's effect to go ahead and summon them back. And I'll show you guys why in a bit. So we're gonna go ahead and use Keysco's effect to draw a card. We can draw another Maxi, of course, one of the best cards in the game. And next we're gonna go link the Shavara and the one of the live twins, doesn't really matter, into Yama. You can put it there, you can put it in the extra monster zone, doesn't really matter. We're gonna use the effect of Yama, but we're gonna go ahead and chain block it and use Shavara's effect, so that way they can't ash the Yama. Because one of the biggest choke points, if not the biggest choke point, is if they ash the Yama. So why you want to activate Yama first, so that way you could chain block it with the Shavara, so that way they can't ash it. So they still like effect Veiler and imperm, all that stuff, but for now they can't ash it. So that's one less concern you have to concern yourself about. And from here we're gonna set the Abominable Chamber. So if you did use anything else other than escaped, you want to set escape from the deck. But if you already had it opened up at the escape, then you set the abominable chamber. So next you're gonna use Aruha's effect to pop the trap, and then you're gonna summon out the Aruha. And then Aruha is gonna the trap is gonna summon out Sarama. So after that, you're gonna link the Yama and the other evil twin, and then you're gonna go into Solar Rage. This reason you do this is because you want Yama Engrave for before you actually destroy something. So here we're gonna use Sarama's effect to set the escape for our opponent's turn, and then go ahead and use the effect of Aruha, and destroy the Aruha. So we could use the effect of Aruha and Yama. Yama's gonna go ahead and summon out a Fiend from Grave, and Aruha is gonna summon an Unchained from the deck. So we're gonna summon Shayama, and Yama is gonna summon back the Trouble Sunny. So yep, we actually get access back to our Trouble Sunny. So that's why we popped it earlier, so that we have Engrave. So we can summon it back with the Yama. So now we go ahead, and the Yama's secondary effect, after you special summon the Fiend, you can actually pop a card. So that's why we use the effect to pop the Sarama. The Sarama. And then after that, the Sarama's effect is going to summon another Shavara from the deck. So that's why it's really good to have more than one Shavara. You can never have too much Shavara, if I do say so myself. So next, we're going to rank 6 into our DDD Wave High King Caesar. And this is going to give us 2 negates on an effect that will special summon a monster. We have basically a link, like we basically have access to a SP Little Knight or a Unicorn that we can use off of the Solar Rage, which we could link with our opponent's monster. We have, if we had a Rakia, we could go ahead and use the Escape the Unchained to pop the Rakia and pop a card the opponent controls, but since we don't, we just have to use Solar Rage. You also have Trouble Sunny and then a Call by the Grave, which was not part of the combo, but it's like extra interruption with whatever other cards in your hand. So since you do have 4 other cards in hand off of the 3 cards that you started, because this was a 2-card combo, so you have 3 cards and then plus the card that you drew off the key skill, and you're gonna draw 2 more cards. So 1 off the key skill on your opponent's turn, and the 1 cost off key skill frost. So you're basically gonna have 5 cards in hand or 6 cards in hand. So we're going ahead and playing against a Salamangreat player, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and max C on the mirrors, that way we get an extra free draw. And nothing much happens here. The rest is history. He's gonna go ahead and use the Will of the Salamangreat. I could have used the Trouble Sunny to go ahead and like pop the Will of Salamangreat, so that way it doesn't activate its effect at all. But you know, like it doesn't really matter, because I was just gonna pop the monster you just put out anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But it's just Salamangreat. Salamangreat can it's not something that you should worry about that much when we have like a board like this. Still we have Ash and all this stuff that we can use, so it doesn't really matter. And we have Max C, like we're drawing so many cards, it's insane. So you have Sanctuary, and then Kisiko's gonna draw us another card, so we have 7 cards in hand. He's gonna special summon again, so he's gonna let us draw another card. Insane. And then after that, we're gonna use Solar Rage to link these 2 into Abomination. Literally one of my favorite cards in the deck, if not my favorite card. And he just scoops him there. There's nothing else you could do. You can't beat this deck. Once it establishes board, there's so much layers of interruption. It's hard to keep track, honestly, even for me. Yeah, and I'm playing the deck. So yes, this deck is absolutely insane. I think it's gonna be very, very good in the future. So that's how I was able to reach Silver 3, of course. Other than my combos taking so long that people literally left. They just disconnected. They just turned off their thing and said, "I'm done for today." Literally. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully, the more higher ranks that we get, the better matches we will get. And that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.